South Africa's violent crime crisis, causes, impact, and urgent solutions. South Africa continues to grapple with an escalating violent crime crisis that poses a grave threat to its social fabric, economic development, and democratic stability. With an alarming murder rate of approximately 45 per 100,000 people and nearly 27,000 homicides annually, South Africa ranks among the most dangerous countries globally. This video explores the root causes, the impact on communities and the economy, and the urgent actions required to address this national emergency. The scale of South Africa's violent crime epidemic. Recent data from the South African Police Service, SAPS, reveals that the country is witnessing an average of 75 murders per day. Provinces such as Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Western Cape, and Gauteng are hotspots, collectively accounting for over 80% of the nation's homicides. The violent crime wave is not only pervasive but also intensifying. Key statistics: murder rate 45 per 100,000 people. Annual murders nearly 27,000. Daily murders 75 on average. Root causes of the violence. Understanding the causes is crucial to formulating sustainable solutions. South Africa's violent crime epidemic is fueled by a complex web of factors. 1. Socioeconomic inequality. The legacy of apartheid has left deep economic disparities, with poverty, unemployment, and lack of education serving as catalysts for crime. Townships, where the majority of these crimes occur, are often plagued by underdevelopment and limited opportunities. 2. Organized crime and gangs. Cities like Cape Town are notorious for gang violence, with turf wars, extortion, and drug trafficking exacerbating the murder rate. Gangs have infiltrated many communities, making it difficult for law enforcement to maintain control. 3. Weak policing and judicial system. The South African Police Service, SAPS, is hampered by corruption, understaffing, and outdated infrastructure. Less than 13% of murders result in convictions, allowing criminals to act with impunity. 4. Easy access to firearms. Illegal firearms fuel much of the violence, particularly in urban centers where gang-related shootings are rampant. 5. Gender-based violence. South Africa also suffers from an epidemic of gender-based violence and femicide, with over 5,500 women and 1,600 children murdered in the past year alone. Regional hotspots, where violence hits hardest. Eastern Cape. Highest murder rate, 71 per 100,000. Key issues: alcohol abuse, gang violence, domestic violence. KwaZulu-Natal, KZN. Murder rate, 56 per 100,000. Key issues: political killings, taxi wars, organized crime. Western Cape. Notorious for gang wars and extortion. Key districts: Hanover Park, Mitchell's Plain, Manenberg, Gauteng. Economic hub with rising cases of armed robberies, hijackings, and home invasions. Economic and social impact. The consequences of violent crime extend far beyond individual tragedies. Economic drain. South Africa's high crime rates deter foreign investment and are estimated to cost the economy up to 10% of GDP annually. Public trust erosion. Communities have lost faith in the police and judicial system, fueling vigilantism and mob justice. Mental health toll. Persistent violence leads to widespread trauma and psychological distress, particularly in marginalized communities. Community responses and grassroots solutions. In the absence of effective law enforcement, communities have begun to take matters into their own hands, neighborhood watches and mom patrols. In Cape Town's Hanover Park and Bonteheuwel, mothers have organized informal patrols to safeguard children from gang crossfire. These groups operate without formal support, facing threats from criminals but earning the respect of their communities. Community Safety Forums, CSFs. Local residents have formed CSFs to coordinate neighborhood watches, report suspicious activities, and collaborate on crime prevention strategies. While not a substitute for formal policing, these forums help restore some semblance of safety. Urgent solutions for lasting change. Addressing South Africa's violent crime crisis requires bold, multifaceted action. 1. Police reform. Increase funding for SAPs. Establish independent oversight to combat corruption. Expand specialized units such as the anti-gang unit. 2. Gun control. Implement stricter regulations on firearms. Launch nationwide disarmament campaigns targeting illegal guns. 3. Socioeconomic investment. Tackle poverty through job creation and skills development. Improve education, healthcare, and social services in high-crime areas. 4. Judicial reform. Streamline court processes. Enhance forensic and investigative capabilities to increase conviction rates. 5. Gender-based violence prevention. Enforce harsher penalties for domestic violence. Expand support services for survivors. Conclusion: a call to action. South Africa's violent crime crisis is a national emergency that demands immediate and sustained intervention. While the challenges are immense, the resilience of communities, combined with strategic reforms and investments, can pave the way toward a safer, more just society. We must act now. Citizens, government, civil society, and the international community all have a role to play in ending the cycle of violence that grips the nation.